Hey everybody, welcome back to the Homestead. Well, today has been cold and rainy. It's supposed to get down to the 30s today or tonight. We got a lot of greenery going on. A lot of our trees and bushes have already blossomed and bloomed and growing new leaves. Hopefully the cold won't affect it too much. It's gonna get low 30s, but we'll see. We're hoping though that it won't affect the plants too much that are already out and growing. But today's main focus is our black fly larvae station. We got to set that up. It's hard for me to say that. Black fly larvae station. Okay. No, black soldier fly larvae station. We got to get that set up today because the larvae is supposed to come in the mail today and I don't have everything quite ready yet. But we'll go ahead and head in the garage and I'll show you what I got set up so far and try to explain what we got to do to get it completely ready to start going. So this is the station I got right here. It's right next to the seedlings. Got another rack, and all these trays will be holding and storing larvae as they grow in the future once we get up and going. But first, when we get them, we want to let them actually turn into black soldier fly flies, and they will be housed in here. This is where our flies will actually be. And then they'll mate and they'll lay eggs, and then we take those eggs or larvae, yeah, eggs, whatever, then we put them in here, we let them eat, they grow, and then once they're ready, you either feed them to the chickens or you let them turn dark or black. Then eventually they'll turn into flies, and you just keep the cycle going. You hold some back to turn into flies for the next generation, and so on, because the flies only actually live for like a couple of days, so it's a very quick cycle. But yeah, so these first ones we'll put in here, let them turn into flies, and then they'll lay eggs, and that will get the cycle started, and we just hold some back every time and we'll be good, and we just eventually boost our numbers and we'll have more and more and more, and then we'll have all these trays filled. That's the plan anyway. We'll see. But first, this right here, so this will be where they'll lay their eggs. They want to lay their eggs on top or over a food source. So we put stinky food in here, right? And then you put a screen over it, so that way you don't want the eggs to actually fall in the food, because we want to collect them to put them into the trays. So I have this lid. I need to cut this lid out, and we'll put a screen over it. And so that way when they'll lay the eggs inside cardboard, which will be over it like this. You'll understand later. I'll show you. And then once they start growing, they hatch or whatever they do, they start getting bigger, they'll crawl out and fall down. And they're supposed to fall down into the food, but we're going to stop that because we got a screen. And then we take them, collect them off the screen or cardboard if we want to just grab them straight from the cardboard, and then we put them into there. So I need to get this set up. That way, when they get here, they can start that process and they'll be ready for them. Because once they're flies, you really don't want to, have this open a lot or whatever. I don't want flies flying all around the garage or anything like that. So we want to keep them secured in this. So we want to get this set up and ready to go. That way, when they do get in here, we can just toss the larvae in here and wait for them to hatch and start doing their thing. So let's go ahead and get started with this and putting I got some coconut coir down there, and that's used for when they are turning into flies. They like to bury themselves into that. So we'll have some of that in here as well. Okay, so I went ahead and cut some cardboard, and you need the cardboard to have the holes of the spacing in it. If it's just flat cardboard, it's not going to work, because what the flies do is they're going to lay their eggs inside these little compartments, right? Or in between the different layers. That's why I have them at different sizes, so they can also lay the eggs in that area. So now we just need to keep these together and mount that right there like that. So that's what I'm talking about. Maybe hopefully you're kind of understanding now what I'm saying. So it's gonna be like that. The flies are gonna lay the eggs in here. Now you can buy more elaborate designs for them to lay their eggs in, but we're just getting started, and this is a lot cheaper. Cardboard is pretty much free. You can use Amazon boxes or whatever leftover cardboard you get from ordering things online. So that's what we did, but they should love this all the same. But now that we got this set up, we can go ahead and put this in. And then once we got the new larvae, right, we put them in here or in here, right, for them to grow out. Now, if we want to use them to replenish the flies in there, then we put this tub in this one. So we'll put them in here, and we'll just let the larvae mature. They'll turn black, crawl out, go down into this other area, which will have the coconut pith in here. Then that's when they'll get older, and then we'll move them back into here to start the cycle again. These are our sifters that we got. Just some beginner sifters, different sizes. So this will be for separating the larva and food from the frass, which we can use in the garden to help our vegetables grow better. Then these other ones are bigger, and these are mainly used for separating the larva from the food and all that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's all set up and ready. Now, all we need are the larvae. So hopefully we'll get them in the mail. But we'll be back when we get the larva, and I'll show you setting it up and everything. All right, we're back. We just got the larva in this little container. It's supposed to be 1,000 in here. So now it's time to get everything ready. Put the food in, get the coconut pith all in there and set up and ready for them. Now, these in here are kind of at all different stages. So we're going to put them in here with some food and then let them crawl out into here. And we'll check it every morning, remove the dark ones that have crawled out that are ready to turn into flies, and put them in here. All right. So we've been collecting some food material, right? So, oh boy, this stuff stinks. Let's go ahead and just throw some of this in there. So now we can just open this up.
Are they alive?
Yeah, they're alive.
Yeah,
they're just slow moving. Mainly because they were in the cold mailbox for a while. So now these guys should burrow themselves down into the food and start eating. I bet they're hungry. Because all of it, yeah, there wasn't no food in here, just them. So hopefully they'll warm up in this garage and start moving faster and start eating. I'll set this in there and then you pour. I'll let you do it because.
That way, if it messes up, it's my fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. Now that it's fully soaked and expanded, we're just gonna lay it out in this to help dry it, because the larvae, when they're getting ready to go into their fly stage, they look for dryness. So if this is wet, they'll just keep searching for a dry place. We don't want that. So kind of lay this out, help it dry faster, and then we'll put it in to the side right here and into the fly area. You can see these guys have already dug their way down for the most part. There's a few that are dead on the top and a few that are alive on the top, just munching, which I would take as a good sign that it's not too cold in here for them to be on top comfortably eating. We'll be back once this dries out a bit. We'll add that to the outer layer here and in there. All right, it's been a couple of days. Because of the time when we got the larva, it was really cold and humid. And so trying to get this to dry out was pretty hard and difficult. But the weather finally warmed up and we started getting sun again. And so we were able to dry this out, at least good enough, I think. And what we also did is, because these larvae were so slow moving because of the cold temperatures, I actually put them on a heating mat for starting seeds, and it really got them in gear. And now they are moving really good. And a lot of them are starting to turn dark or black. So we need to hurry up and get this stuff in there. That way they can hopefully climb out and get to a dry area. And then we can separate those and put them in here for them to turn into flies. So that's what we're going to do now, is we're going to get this set up and ready for them. And I think they have a hard time climbing up the wall unless you like get it kind of wet. So we're going to wet this a little bit, because I know there's some black ones and they started getting into this dry corner. So hopefully they'll start climbing up. Oh, see. So see, they actually did already start to climb up looking for a dry area. So we're just in the nick of time. So they'll climb over and fall in to that stuff. And when we get a good amount in there, then we'll strain them out and put them up there. Just gonna toss some of this in here as well. That's all set up and ready. Now we just gotta wait on these guys to crawl out when they're done eating. and they're getting big. I think we're finally starting to get going. It was just messed up because we got the larvae in when it was cold and damp, and just that kind of hindered me getting this going. But hopefully we're good now, and soon we'll have something to show for it. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, and stay tuned for future updates. More than likely they'll be more entertaining than this video, but stay tuned. And with that, I hope everybody has a great day.